Chapter 6, The Trials of the Moon. You're barely able to keep up with Kieran as he leads you and Oleander on a winding path through an obscure part of the Moon Palace gardens. Kieran, wait, what are we doing here? You catch up to him as he pauses before a hidden entrance to a cave that you never knew existed. Each Fey Court possesses a source, a great wellspring of raw, unfiltered magic from which all their power flows. The power is incredibly dangerous when unleashed, which is why it can only be truly controlled by the rightful bearers of the crown of all Fey. And you think drawing directly from the source will heal the effects of Eclipse's iron? Why did we not go immediately to it? To reach the moon source, we must pass through a series of chambers, each of which will present a challenge designed to test our worth. Challenges such as... The trials conform themselves to the individual. What I've experienced in the past may not be the same trials we face today. You share a concerned look with Oleander. Kieran, this seems like an act of desperation, and after Monday, he levels his gaze at you, beseeching. Perhaps I'm desperate then. And why do you need Oleander and me to come with you? There are ancient carvings in the Chamber of the Source that may give us some insight into why Jack wants them for his own. Interpreting such pictograms is not my strong suit. I have no doubt that the two of you will be able to glean much more from them than me. He stares at the shadowed cave mouth, eyes far away and troubled. We know so little of our past. Few Fey know what the sources are. None know exactly how they came to be. Even you or Longclaw? We speak of things that happened thousands of years ago, darling. I do not know that any Fey yet live who were there from the beginning of the courts. Unfortunately for us, I suspect that Jack character knows far more than he should. You feel a sudden chill looking into the strange and empty darkness of the cave mouth, wondering what ancient magics await within. Hear the tale of the ancient magic? Diamond choice. In the distant, primeval days long lost now to memory, magic in the other realms ran wild and untamable. As magical as the vast Fey forest now stands, it is a pale ghost of what the world once was. During the brutal wars before the courts were formed, powerful Fey sorcerers discovered how to directly tap into the flow of raw magic, and used it to channel vast quantities of power against their enemies. Soon, every skirmish became a tempest of blood, chaos, with swaths of destruction leagues wide. As the two Fey courts came together, many of those powerful sorcerers joined their ranks. Some, however, refused to bend in the knee to the new authority and turn their power against any who sought to rule them. And so, using ancient, arcane rituals long forgotten by time, the courts worked together to bleed magic from the very air, distilling it into two great wells of magic. Upon these wells, they built two great palaces, one of sun, one of moon. With the vast majority of the world's magic now confined within their walls, the courts soon brought the rest of the Fey kind to heel. For who could hope to oppose them when the very seasons turned according to their will? But with the ambition of the courts did not end with a war. Working with both sources in concert, they were able to infuse the source's magic into their bloodlines, extending their lifespans and accelerating their body's ability to heal. The near immortality persisted through generation after generation of Fey until it came to be known as a defining trait of their kind. Few, if any, living Fey now remember that their ancestors, while powerful, once lived no longer than the humans they now look upon with pity and scorn. Interesting. Wells of magic. Kieran takes your hand to lead you into the cave mouth, but he stops when Oleander clears their throat. Resourceful as Ella may be, I think it better if she remains in the palace. No. Ella will have insight as a mortal that we desperately need. You're demanding that she enter an arena reserved to test the fortitude of immortal beings. A tense and heavy weight sits between the prince and his friend, but Oleander stands their ground. At least be honest with her, Kieran. Fine, I would prefer you both to remain in my sight. Kieran's hand tightens on yours with the faintest tremble. You know by now that almost nothing frightens the Moon Prince, except... He's terrified something will happen while he's not here to protect us. It's alright, Kieran. I'll go with you. Kieran kisses the palm of your hand, and a silent look of understanding passes between you. Do you see what is carved above the mouth of the cave? I see something, but what language is that? A long dead one. From the time before the Fey Wars, my father told me their meaning when I was small, as his aunt told him when he was chosen as heir. The carvings say that the Crescent Moon Chamber is the first challenge we'll face, a test of will. We should all do very well, then, shouldn't we? Oleander strides through the archway, the air rippling strangely as they vanish from sight. Are you ready, beloved? I think so, but Kieran, what if I'm not worthy? You are in every way that matters. A true member of the Moon Court there has never been. I'm not Fae. I didn't even join your court on purpose. Kieran grips your shoulders and looks hard into your eyes. Though injuries have dampened the flame of his power, Kieran's eyes still burn with black infernos. Yes, it will be dangerous. The tests were designed for Fae, may be difficult to accomplish without magic, but I would not ask this of you if I did not think you fully capable, or that the risks were worth it. You're so certain. It captures your mouth in a kiss as passionate as the very first one you shared, the force of it as much a command as it is a promise, that your love has achieved the impossible before, and will again. You know I shall follow you anywhere. And you know I will not leave your side, beloved. Whatever trials this place musters against us, we will conquer them together. You take a deep breath, lock hands with him, and step into the cavern side by side. A moment later, you realize it's not a chamber at all, but a dark grove of twisted, sickly-looking trees. Where are we? A cold weight drops into your stomach as you realize that there is no longer a hand holding yours. Kieran is gone. Kieran, are you there? Oleander? You proceed cautiously into the grove, calling for Oleander and Kieran, shivering in the eerie stillness. The air is dull, lifeless, and you feel watched. Who's there? Your heart thrums with fear at the sound of a low hissing growl, and you freeze in place as a wolf emerges from the undergrowth. The wolf. You're the wolf I freed from the trap last year, just before Kieran came to my rescue. There's no dashing prince to save you this time, Ella. Turn back! You startle at the guttural voice emanating impossibly from the wolf's mouth. The wolf creeps forward and you take a nervous step back. I don't. Without warning, the wolf lunges at you, snaps its jaws, so close you feel its breath in a slice of huge teeth through the air. Ah! Emboldened by your fear, the wolf seems to grow to twice its size, mouth stretching in a ghastly farce of a grin. Run away, little human. You don't belong here. This place will eat you alive. Something about the wolf's tone reminds you of Jack and Radiance. Anger flares within you, hot enough to overpower your fear. I'm not leaving. Because I do belong here. I will not abandon my court, not for anything. Anything here that wishes to eat me had best prepare to choke. That includes you. Interesting. The wolf regards you with alert, intelligent eyes, but makes no further move towards you. I'll be going now. Summoning courage, you ball your fists and march right past the giant wolf. It does not lunge at you again nor bare its teeth. You don't look back as your heart pounds wildly in your chest. The woods around you dissolve away. What in the... Your head spins with vertigo. As you walk, the world around you shifts, coalescing into a massive stone chamber. Now where am I? A vast chasm yawns open at your feet. A cloud of small winged creatures chirps far overhead, flitting through a forest of stalactites. Oh my god, I want you. You're cute. Ella. Kieran rushes to embrace you, crushing you tight to him. Oleander stands a few paces away, looking troubled, but otherwise unhurt. I should have expected this damned place to take you from me. You return Kieran's tight embrace, feeling almost lightheaded with relief. Thank goodness. I knew a wolf wouldn't scare you. Kieran and Oleander both look at you in confusion. You saw a wolf? You didn't? Apparently the challenge was unique to each of us. I'm glad that all you saw was a wolf. What obstacle did you face, Kieran? His expression softens as he looks into your eyes, thumbs stroking your cheeks, the depth of his emotion worrying. I'd rather not relive it. Swallowing hard, you put on a cheery face. Well, I'm glad to see you both. Oleander clears her throat, gesturing at the carved text in the stone overhead. If your overly emotional reunion is complete, perhaps we should concern ourselves with this new bit of nonsense. You're not stepping forward to examine the ruins. We're standing in the half-moon chamber now. It is a test of strength. This one, at least, will be straightforward. At Kieran's gesture, boulders rise from the chasm to form a bridge. He steps lightly from one to the next, landing safely on the other side. Now, you, Oleander. Oleander steps forward, but as soon as they place one foot on the first stone, all the stones drop back into the chasm, shattering into pebbles. Oh no. Kieran, darling, you should know by now that nothing is ever straightforward. Oleander closes her eyes, concentrating with some amount of effort. Ugh. Her hand trembles slightly as they summon the pulverized stones back into the air to form a delicate filigreed bridge, which they cross with utmost dignity. Never let it be said that I am all brains and no brawn. But your heart sinks as you watch Oleander's bridge dissolve behind them. Now what? We'll have to think of something else. Why don't you conjure a rope, give me wings? Conjure a rope. I'm not sure now is the time for that, beloved. He smirks, and you roll your eyes. It's a test of strength, right? So I'll just swing across. Kieran looks dubiously at the vast emptiness between you, and then a rope appears tied to a stalactite, the free end flying into your hand. Be careful. You tie the rope around your waist, approaching the edge of the cliff, grip the rope tight, and take a deep breath. But just as you move to jump, the entire rope fizzles to nothing. Ella! You catch your balance just in time, falling back to solid ground. Okay, but we'll need another idea. Kieran, darling, you're missing the point of the test. Yeah, she has to do it herself. Any magic you do can't help him. Fine. If I cannot magic Ella across, then I will carry her. Kieran's wings flush open, and he grits his teeth with pain. Kieran, you can't carry me. Not with your wounded back. Kieran ignores you, but the moment he moves towards the chasm, his wings suddenly vanish. Feathers are cheating as if they were never there. Damn it. The room won't let you help her, Kieran. Ella must find a way on her own. Well, let me try climbing the wall. Ella, no. No human could climb that distance. The wall's too sheer. You'd be dashed to the rocks below. You look down, far, far down at the jagged teeth of broken stalagmites in the chasm. Alright, maybe not. It seems this is a test of one's magical strength. Ella is a member of my court, no matter what this damn place says. Apparently, whatever ancient fae created this place would disagree with you. Kieran gazes across the chasm at you, expression hard as he tries to think of a solution, and then his shoulders slump. I'm sorry, Ella, you'll have to stay here until we return. Wait here, alone? You're safe. Nothing will threaten you as long as you don't attempt to cross. Fine. I guess I'll just wait here. Please don't be long. I'll be back for you as soon as I am able. I'm sorry. They disappear into a tunnel on the far side, and you slump to the floor, frustrated and embarrassed. In the gloomy silence left behind after they leave, you silently fume alone on the cold stone floor. I guess this proves I'm not a true member of the Moon Court after all, just a mortal weakling pretending to belong somewhere I don't. The air around you is suddenly full of small, flickering wings as the tiny bat-like creatures emerge from their hiding places and swoop low to investigate you. Oh, hello. Sorry about the intrusion. I hope you're friendly. One of the creatures lands on a rock near you and cocks its head.
Food?
You can talk? Silly me, of course you can talk. Let me see, I usually keep a bit of something in my pocket for such occasions. You pull out a crusty end of a loaf Sylvia baked fresh that morning. Wrapped in a napkin, the bat screeches happily.
Food, food!
A score of bat-like creatures descends from the ceiling. Summoned by the promise of food, you laugh, trying to spread it around equally. There's plenty for everyone, don't worry.
Friend, friend, friend!
Wait, what are you? Whoa! Suddenly you find yourself being borne aloft with strong claws and a hurricane of tiny, leathery wings. Hey, I'm not food. Please don't take me home and eat me. But the swarm only chitters and lifts you higher and higher until your feet dangle freely over the abyss. Oh!
Help, friend! Carry, friend!
You want to help me? But why? You try to relax as a flurry of wing beats jostles and maneuvers you in a coordinated effort. A chorus of delighted chirps of friend in your ears.
Friend, help! Kind friend, help, friend!
You realize that with a start that you pass the cavern's test with your own kind of strength. Maybe I'm worthy of being here after all. The bats carry you safely to the far side of the chasm and continue on, zooming you down the tunnel after Kieran and Oleander. Ella. Kieran and Oleander are completely bewildered to see the tiny cloud of bats gently deposit you on your feet before them. Sorry I'm late. Had to catch a lift. Kieran's speechless for a moment, then he smiles, shakes his head, and caresses your cheek, eyes full of pride. My Ella, I should have guessed you would find a way on your own. Perhaps next time you can find a way to support me, rather than shield me from danger. Kieran's hand tightens possessively around the back of your neck, sending a thrill down your spine. Perhaps I can do both. The bat colony disperses until only one is left, happily fluttering about your head.
Friend, friend!
It's a thistle bat. You must have done something to endear yourself to it. They're incredibly loyal to those they consider friends. Kieran reaches out a curious hand to the thistle bat.
No touch!
The thistlebat screeches and lands decisively on your shoulder, tiny teeth bared. Ah, yes, I've read about them. They have a limited grasp of our speech, but are quite intelligent, and it seems this one's imprinted on you. Have you now? Perhaps you'd like to stay with me and come live in the Moon Palace? You raise a brow at Kieran, who shrugs. I'd be quite a hypocrite to stand in the way of true love. Little bat chitters excitedly in your ear.
Friend, friend!
The Moon Court could use all the friends we could get. Adopt the thistlebat to keep as a pet, who will accompany you and come to your aid throughout the book. Listen, of course I'm gonna make this little guy a friend. Come on now, look how cute he is. You hold out your arm, the thistlebat lights on your wrist. You bring them closer to your face. Absolutely, we're friends. The thistlebat flits excitedly around your head, making you laugh.
Friend, friend, friend!
I'm Ella. What should we call you? How about Merlin? You know what? Why not? How about Merlin?
Merlin, Merlin!
It's settled then. Merlin chirps happily as you set them on your shoulder. You're just a little thing, aren't you? They seem quite young. Never seen the likes of us before, have you? You're a very brave little bat.
Brave.
I hope you do not expect me to take care of your pet. I would never. Merlin hisses at Oleander. I think they prefer me anyway. Grand, might we continue, please? Some of us would like to be in bed by a rational hour. Trudge along down the tunnel, Merlin happily flapping along beside you. You come to an archway glowing with a silver light. Kieran points out the text inscribed above. It says that to stand in the presence of the moon source, one must be of pure heart. Well, I'm good. How about you? Oh dear, you're in trouble then, Kieran. Kieran swallows, gazing up at the entrance, his face stricken. What's wrong? I haven't been able to enter this chamber for 100 years. I tried many times. I'd hoped to use the source's healing power to break my curse, but without a heart, I could not pass. Surprise washes over Oleander's face, quickly followed by abashed regret. Clap a hand on Kieran's shoulder. I'll go first, my friend. Kieran nods faintly, and Oleander steps into the silver light and disappears. You can do this. Your heart is whole now and pure. And if it's not? He meets your gaze, and your heart aches to see the decades of regret and sorrow written there. My love, I held but a fraction of your heart last year. Even that small piece was enough to show me who you are. Your heart is vast, my love. Strong, pure. You have nothing to fear. Kieran draws you in a fierce kiss that steals your breath and sets your head spinning. You hold all of my heart, beloved, now and always. And you mine. The kiss lingers on your lips as you watch Kieran walk towards the archway, and then he is gone.
Where go?
I guess we're about to find out. Merlin, you'll come too?
Merlin, come too.
Well, here goes nothing. Heart fluttering like a hummingbird as you hold your breath and step into the light. What? Where am I? You float in a hazy forest of endless light, your whole body tingling. There's no fear, no pain, no up, no down, no sound, and no Kieran. This feels like being underwater. I remember this, like floating underwater in a pond near home, the way I did as a child, freezing from the spring thaw. If there's a surface, you can't find it, and you aren't certain you want to. It's so peaceful. What is this place? How do I get... You aren't afraid. You aren't anything. Nothing seems to matter. Nothing except Kieran. I need to get back to Kieran. Your heart begins to race faster and faster as you harden your resolve to help him. The air hums in time with your pulse. The light grows painfully bright, and you have the sensation of being dragged upward as if the surface of something very, very deep. Until the blinding white fades into the dim shadows of another stone chamber, faintly lit by a floating orb of liquid, silvery white light. Kieran. Ella. Overcome, Kieran just pulls you in his arms, bearing his face into your shoulder.
Scree!
Marilyn comes out, careening wildly out of the arch behind you, screeching in surprise. Merlin! Merlin rights themselves and chitters happily as they return to your shoulder.
Go again?
Well, I'm glad at least one of us is having fun.
Fun!
You shake your head and return your attention to Kieran. Kieran, you're shaking. It's all right. We made it. He pulls back from you, smiling, a twinkle of tears in the corner of his eyes. It seems we both passed the test. Kieran, you see, no reason to fear. Oh, there was a reason, certainly a reason to fear, if you knew but half the impure thoughts I have about you. Obviously that doesn't count. I'm fine too, in case anyone was wondering. Oh, of course They scoff, waving off your concern. Steadying Kieran, you approach the floating orb together. The glowing ball of light, the moon source? The closer you get, the more the air vibrates with power. Kieran nods and kneels beside it, holding his palms directly below the glowing line. You sit beside him, watching with bated breath. Are you sure this will work? His face is tense with concentration, and he speaks with some effort. If it doesn't, nothing will. And for a moment, nothing happens. Then the source flickers, light flaring brighter. Then a thin silver coil winds like a charmed snake into his hands. Ah. Kieran is rocked forward by the strength of whatever magic has taken hold of him. Kieran, is it working? Is it helping heal your wounds? His voice is strained, but he nods. It will. It seems to take all of his concentration to wrangle the power under his control. For several uneasy seconds, he is tense, breathless, and then his skin begins to glow softly from within, slowly spreading throughout his entire body, and he lets out a breath of relief. It's working. I'm glad, though I'm not sure I understand how all of this works. The sources are the greatest magical force in the world. The more one embodies the ideals of the Moon Court, the more the power you can access. The sources choose who wields their power as they please, though royal blood certainly helps your case. So, you don't have to wear the crown to use the source? Maybe that's why Jack wants it. It's unusual, but it has happened. One must be a true member of our court to be allowed to access at all. Hence the magical test we had to pass on the way here. Precisely, my mother, Isa, was a minor Sun Court noble when she married my father. Despite that, the moon source responded to her so strongly, it was obvious that she was meant to wear the crown. Was your father upset? He always said he was too busy being in awe of his wife to ever consider being jealous. You check Kieran's wound, which is healing, but at a snail's pace. Kieran takes your hand gently, and you marvel at the power emanating from his touch. Without the crown of all Fae, I can draw but a trickle of the source's power. This will take a while. Ella, come take a look at this, and tell me what you see. Pressing a quick kiss to his lips, you join Oleander in examining a series of faded carvings along the wall. Merlin leans forward, nearly tumbling off your shoulder.
What that?
Near as I can tell, these are telling the story of the Fae who first created and utilized the sources. Oleander summons a ball of light, or moonlight, in their hand, using it to illuminate the details. Wait, what's this? You lean closer to examine a carved figure with a star on their chest, holding aloft an object you can't identify. The design of that star, it's a classic representation of Fae longevity. And what are they holding? It looks like power's flowing into it from both sources. I can't quite tell, but I would be hazard to guess that it's some artifact used to harness the power of the sources. Perhaps the original artifact used to harness the sources. So the sources are somehow related to Fae immortality? Does that mean... Jack wants Fae immortality, or Fae weren't always immortal. Technically from the story, we know they weren't always immortal. I am not sure. No one remembers a time when we were not. I assume it is possible that this trait is not inherent to our people, but acquired through magic. Then, could Jack use the source to steal immortality for himself? Not while Longclaw and Kieran yet live. The crown is linked to them and to the sources. It is the key that unlocks their power. Oleander brings the light closer to the ruin, studying more carvings that make no sense to you at all. Ah, the restitute damage. I cannot make any sense of it. So that's it? We're stuck? I didn't say that. I have seen the ruins like this once before when I was studying ancient texts in the Hall of Enlightenment. The sweep of their hand only underpasses you the fade light. It touches cool and refreshing, like dipping your hand in water. It seems we shall be paying her Solar Highness a visit. I will let Kieran know what we have found. Oleander leaves you alone, staring up at the ruins with a small light in your hand. Your heart and mind are racing with a thread of possibility. If Jack can use the sources to gain immortality, does that mean I could too? Huh, it's a good question. Huh, this was also over super quick. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description, plenty of things to check out, ways to support this community, this family that we have here, and also ways for you to become more than just someone who hits the subscribe button. We would love to have you be a part of this community and this family that we have built and continue to be. With that being said, I did enjoy this, and I'll just say this. Yeah, no, having naughty thoughts, that really doesn't affect the heart whatsoever. The heart is basically, I mean, it's no wonder Ella defeated the tasks, really. Not everything is strength, meaning big bulky muscles. It's strength of your heart, strength of your character, personality, strength of mind. Strength can be used in a lot of different ways. With that being said, um, yeah, I love Kieran's kind of like humor at times, like, hey, give me a rope. Well, honey, it's not time for that, this is not the right place. Even though he knows what you meant, it's just a nice little, piece of humor and whatnot. I see a little thing here and there, and I'm sure you guys can share the same sentiment with characters that we're either pursuing, right, as love interests or whatnot, or characters that we're playing. That you can see a little piece of yourself or something that you're like, huh, I really like that, I dig that, and for either yourself as the player or as someone you're pursuing, it's kind of nice and whatnot. Sometimes some of these characters I just feel absolutely no connection with. And I can at least say lately some of these characters are okay. I'm kind of like connecting with them on a few bases, so that's kind of nice and refreshing. Um, if only Pixelberry could do that more often, especially outside of the Bound Chicken Wow Wow, that'd be great. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Love y'all. Catch y'all later. Peace out.